In terms of what we are hearing coming out of the EU and from Ursula von der Leyen, oil and gas to end altogether by the end of the year, it presumably is not fast enough for you.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. That is correct. We have been at war with Russia for 8 years, and all of those 8 years, Russia was preparing to invade Ukraine even further. And right now they accumulated over $760 billion on their accounts. Some of them is frozen in different countries, but it is still enough for them to continue the war, to continue to kill us. So every single day when we are talking with you, it's over $1 billion that is paid by European countries to Russia for gas and oil. At this rate, they will not only be able to continue killing us, they will be able to afford 1 or 2 more wars. And as you can see today, they paid for their debt with the dollars and euros, so they omit the default once again. So can you imagine that what is going on right now in their financial system, that it is able to actually survive all the sanctions that has been put beforehand? The most important sanctions are against Russian oil and Russian gas, and this is critical, and this is what needs to happen. However, if you look deeper into this 6th package of sanctions, you see that some countries will only stop buying Russian gas and oil, at the end of 2023. So when Russia would actually suffer and start feeling that, it's beginning of next year. Is it the time when we still think that the war will be going on and my people will be killed? And 6th package of sanctions does not have the most important point is ban on Russian gas. And I again want to tell everybody here that it's less than 5 months till the next heating season in Europe, and hoping that Russia will behave differently in September is an illusion. So we need to account to the point that Russians will act even more cruel than they are acting right now, and we will have to survive without their energy resources, no matter if we would have the sanctions or not. Putin will just stop sending gas to Europe anyways.
Yeah, but in terms of the sanctions and their effectiveness, I mean, there is the delay, which of course you are not happy about. I suppose in defence, many countries in Europe would say that they have to structure an ability to get it from other places so that they themselves don't suffer. But are you not concerned that even if there are sanctions, and even if these sanctions are brought forward and are effective, can't Russia just sell its oil elsewhere? Can't it just turn its eyes to the east instead of the west? Do you think that the sanctions, even if they were brought in tomorrow, would actually stop President Putin doing what he is doing in Ukraine?
We all know that sanctions as a tool, they have the delayed impact. That's true. That's why we are saying it's a little bit too late, because we know it will have to be 6 months, maybe a year before Russia will actually be defaulted, because before Russia will actually say we cannot continue anymore. This is why we were pushing, and we are pushing for it to happen right away, so we could have this time in our hands. We know that Russia can try and sell oil elsewhere, but it will, same way as it is complicated for European countries to restructure where they are buying oil, for Russia, it will be complicated to restructure where they are selling oil. And plus, if European countries, and the most important, United States, will claim and recognize Russia as a country sponsor of terrorism, then everybody who would be buying oil from them would be also considered a sponsor of terrorism and will be also going under the sanctions. So it will be like creating this toxicity in the whole world. This is the goal. Otherwise, yeah, they will be trying to survive economically as they're doing right now.
In terms of the situation in Ukraine, what is the latest that you're hearing coming out of Mariupol today?
It's 156 people that we were able to evacuate from Mariupol Azovstal. Many of them are children. Many of them have not seen the ray of light for the last months. So you can imagine that we were all in tears once the first group reached out to safety. It's incredible progress that we have made in getting people out. There were at least 20 attempts beforehand to get people out, and they all failed. So right now, our main goal is to make sure that we get out all the children. It's about 30 children more still there. Then all the women, elderly, and wounded soldiers. The most complicated step would be with the wounded soldiers, because the Russians are not allowing them to get out. And can you imagine that with one hand, when it's United Nations and Red Cross efforts taking people out from Azovstal, and Russians said, okay, you can take them out. In the same time, they're throwing missiles at Azovstal again doing like the same thing that they were doing on the road from Mariupol to the safety, when they were saying, yes, it's safe, but then they did not didn't cease fire. So it's extremely dangerous operation that is being performed, but it's also the only way for our people to survive, because the situation inside Azovstal is critical. There is still food, but there is no water, no sanitation, and the conditions are really dire there. So our military will be protecting Azovstal till their last breath. We have talked to them, and we know that they will not give up. This is their heroism, this is their decision to make sure that they protect it with their own lives. They know what happens to the territories that are taken by Russians. They know what happened in Bucha, and they will be making sure that it does not happen in Mariupol. But we need to take out the civilians, we need to take out our women and children, and this is what we are concentrated on. It is an incredible heroism of Ukrainian soldiers who now are saying it's a suicide mission, but we are taking on this suicide mission.
Kira Rudik, good to talk to you, an opposition MP from Ukraine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.